ActionAid Zimbabwe, under the Partnership for Social Accountability Alliance and International Humanitarian and Resilience Team, launched the Zimbabwe Food Security Policy Brief entitled Recovery from Food Crisis Through Resilient, Accountable, and Gender-Responsive Agricultural Development driven by agroecology principles on the 9th of December 2020 in Harare.
The Southern Africa region is facing a food crisis with close to 44.8 million people estimated to be food insecure as of July 2020. So Zimbabwe is predicted to be worst hit, and the number of food insecure people is likely to increase almost 50% by year end, that is the end of 2020. About 8.6 million people, or 60% of the population, is expected to be food insecure or hungry. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to launch the Zimbabwean version of the Southern Africa Food Security Policy Brief research. So ours is coined around recovery from food crisis through resilient, accountable, and gender-responsive agricultural development.
The launch aimed at facilitating to disseminate and amplify key messages on food security and climate justice, and to influence policy change and practices at all levels, taking into consideration the impact of COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 recovery action plans, and develop specific action plans or roadmaps to achieve the various commitments: food security, climate justice, and accountability. To achieve this, there were key parliamentary portfolio committees in attendance, such as Lands, Agriculture, Rural and Resettlement Development, Health and Childcare, Finance and Economy Planning, and also representatives from the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Rural and Resettlement Development.
In terms of agriculture, this dialogue is actually very important to enlighten the policymakers on the challenges that are current that we are having as a country. For example, we never had COVID-19 before. We never had such kind of pandemic. It's a new thing. It can also recur in some other forms. But as policymakers, we must be prepared to come up with policies that would actually avert such kind of a disaster in terms of food security and malnutrition to our people.
The recommendations towards building resilient, accountable and gender-responsive food systems in Zimbabwe were in a short-term expansion of sustained investments into local social services, for example, in health, education, farming inputs through the presidential scheme. In the mid-long term, climate proofing of agriculture so as to ensure the resilience of food systems by investing in sustainable agriculture. Promoting the creation of women and youth-led farmer groups' businesses by fulfilling national commitment to reach the government's target of 1.8 million smallholder farmers through the Fumvudza in Twasa program, which promotes agroecology principles and farming of small grains. Decentralization of power in local communities with focus on women and youth-led accountability mechanisms.
This policy briefing has been helpful in that it helped me appreciate the importance of the multi-sectoral approach in tackling challenges that we are facing as a community.
Message yanichatakura kubva kuno kuenda naye kumakon district ndeye kunokurudzira varimi vechidiki kuti tinopindawo munotorwa nyaya dzebudget tichipawo pfungwa dzedu nemuono wedu.
Policy briefing has actually helped me a lot because I've made engagements and I've also have an opportunity to talk with other like-minded stakeholders, and it has also helped us in understanding, having a mutual understanding on the processes and protocols that we have to undergo, or like when I don't understand something, where do I go and who do I approach?
The policy brief was handed over to Parliament, represented by Honourable Patrick Lutira of Lands, Agricultural and Rural Resettlement Portfolio Committee. The policy brief has allowed the women, youth, civil society and media to engage policymakers and present them with the policy brief and recommendations.